Hello, the internet. Welcome to our little corner. Joining me and Rixart for another production stream. Yes.
Hi,
yeah.
hi. Yeah. We're not dead. We're not dead.
Well, Rixart is not dead. I am pretty close. We're
Yeah. Like, wow. To make a very long story short, after our first stream, I started a new job, and that kind of it didn't leave me with enough time to like come back home and do another stream with you. So we had to put it off for a few weeks.
yeah. If any of you managed to catch my solo stream, it was not a great stream, but we did some production work. We, at least on my side, finished scene 3. We're currently on scene 4 and scene 5 respectively.
Yep.
What basically means we are nearing one more scene and we would be completed with Act 1 for the pilot.
Yeah,
So
we're making good time.
we are doing surprisingly good. If we keep up with this pace, we should have the layout and basic blocking done come December time.
Oh, you're still hoping.
But yeah, we're back, we're live, in beautiful living colour. And we're continuing with our production. And like Rixart said, he starts a new job. My job decided to change up my timetable.
Yeah, so you can say that immediately after we started doing streams, our lives just became too busy for us to even continue it. So
Yeah,
you know, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, right?
yeah. You can come up with a plan, but God's going, let me put a wrench in that. This is what I need you to do for a while. Wow. Well, we're back. We've got quite a few things today. When we managed to catch up last, we were just talking about media stuff and some of the things that have been missing in modern entertainment and how, well, we were growing up. Yes, for any Zoomers out there, we are millennials. We do apologise for the state of the world we left you in. We can't help it. It was already like that when we got here because of the boomers.
Yeah. Boy. But yeah, from the last stream to now, there were a lot of things that released. Two of the big ones we recently talked about was the Legend of Aang movie.
Yep.
And Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'll let you start because you brought them up.
Alright, fine. Okay, for all the 0 members of the audience, spoiler alert. Alright, so do you want to get into like the spoilers, or do you want to like talk more generally about the films?
Talk more genuine. It's only been a week since Spider-Man came out, and I think with Avatar, we'll put a big spoiler warning when we talk about that, because
yeah, it did get like leaked a few months ago, so
yeah, what again, Paramount, why do you hate The Last Airbender? Just out of curiosity.
But yeah, I guess we can talk about Brand New Day. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Oh.
Yeah, and special credit to Daniel Cretton. I think that's his name, the director.
Yes.
Because he's on fire. Like, really on fire. I mean, everything he's done for the MCU has been gold. First Shang-Chi, Wonder Man, then Brand New Day. Daniel Destin, as my brother just whispered to me.
I've only seen Brand New Day. I'm one of those MCU fans that nothing post No Way Home has really appealed to me from the MCU, and I'm a Spider-Man fan. I'm one of the. I think they got a brilliant actor to play Spider-Man. Has his movies lived up to the original Spider-Man 1 and 2? No. Except for Homecoming. I'm here that Homecoming is on par with the original Spider-Man 1. Not Spider-Man 2, but the original Spider-Man 1. I generally think it's on.
Yeah, I like Homecoming too. I just want to talk about like the Home trilogy and our collective thoughts on it before we get to.
Yes, we'll start with me because I'm the most controversial. I enjoy the first two a lot. I know a lot of people, like Rixart, isn't a big fan of Far From Home, and I completely understand it. I can at least rewatch Far From Home, and I love rewatching Homecoming. I can't rewatch No Way Home. I saw it once at the cinema. I rewatched it once afterwards. I enjoyed 95% of it in the cinema. Didn't like the ending because at that time, more of what Disney and Sony was going through. I really didn't like the ending. I'm happy that Disney and Sony's managed to make a working relationship again so we can have Spider-Man in the MCU. It was a bit touch and go there for a while. But yeah, loved Homecoming. I thought that's the best representation of a young Spider-Man just starting out.
Yeah, agree.
I thought Far From Home was a great epilogue for the MCU, and I had a little bit of hope for the MCU at that time moving forward. No Way Home for me is just nostalgia bait. But yeah, Rixart, you go on, talk about the trilogy.
Alright, fine. So yeah, Homecoming, I really enjoyed it. Like you said, it was the only Spider-Man movie where I felt he was a kid.
Yep.
Like the other two, like supposedly seniors in high school, but they looked like seniors in general. I mean, they were close to 30 when they filmed it, and you know, Tom Holland's like pretty baby face, so I believed his youthful exuberance, especially when you get to the "Come on, Spider-Man" scene. Like to me, that's still like one of my favorite MCU moments. I remember in uni, we had to write like a favorite scene of ours from movies. That was mine. So I liked it. So I like that. I would say in retrospect, Tom Holland's Spider-Man usually gets paired up with other MCU heroes, which you know, for the first one I gave a pass, and then you know, when you get to the other ones, it does feel a little forced, I would say.
Yes. Thank you, Disney, for your contractual obligations. I believe it was Sony. Can't remember who put it in the deal. It was either Sony or Disney that wanted a MCU character in every Spider-Man film.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but you know, I think with Spider-Man, I think he has enough material to stand on his own, and if you wanted to interact with an Avenger, put him in an Avengers movie, which, you know, but in that case, I just don't mind it. But yeah, Homecoming, I really enjoyed it, but I think that was, one of the first few movies you and I went to go see together.
Yes, it was. But also, going on track with him always having an MCU character with him.
Yep.
With the first one, it worked because it was Tony Stark. He was basically established as Peter's mentor. The second one, I will argue, work like they all work with the respective ones. When it comes to Brand New Day, and this is where I'll lean in, half of them work. I think Punisher works a lot more than the Hulk in the overall story of Brand New Day. I understand why Hulk is there. Bugs me that it's not smart Hulk to begin with, but that's a completely...
It did seem like a retcon, but I guess we'll
wait and see. To be fair, Hulk is definitely one of the characters in the MCU that gets mistreated the most.
Neuters. He's neutered. like I would never have said it like Endgame or something, but you know, like the years since. Yeah, they just don't know what to do with him, and it feels sad. But anyway, Far From Home, yeah, like you said, I didn't really like it. And the thing with it, I'll get into it when we watch like a Brand New Day. But before I went to go see the film, I had a massive headache. Because it was like a really hot day. We were in the bus, went to go see it in Felton. So you know, when I'm watching the movie that has Mysterio as the main villain,
Yeah.
obviously it's gonna like overwhelm my brain. So that was like one thing, and two, everything that I felt worked in Homecoming, I felt was pushed too far for this film. It's kind of like a full Ragnarok. On its own, it was a perfectly serviceable movie. Everyone loved it when it first came out, and then you know they started to do the same thing for Love and Thunder, which bombed.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that statement. I'm not a big fan of Full Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It has and it's something that I'll give at least these Spider-Man films to their credit. They don't go overly comedic. I felt like Full Ragnarok went a bit over comedic.
I mean, everyone was like praising Taika Waititi, and then you know, I felt like the studio maybe the kind of wanted. No, what made Ragnarok work was the humor. So push it for this next film, and that was a misstep. We'll get into like directors in a bit when we get to like Brand New Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Far From Home. I felt like one of the criticisms about Peter that I ultimately came to agree with was that I felt like he was too kiddie. Like, you know, like too adorable, but not in like the best way.
What?
Like I praised him for like being like a young Spider-Man, and to me that was a great strength of the first movie. The second one, it was just like stretching credulity about why he was acting this way.
But that, I completely agree with you. That's something that both me and you talked about. The entire class being blipped.
Yep.
At the time. It was...
Yeah, that also.
It was not the right
It wasn't
choice.
as interesting. Yeah, I forgot how mad I was about that, but... Yeah, like, specifically there's a scene where... and I think he's like with a SHIELD agent or something, and she tells him to take his clothes off for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, there was another kid who was like competing for MJ's affection or whatever. He walks in, takes a photo, and blackmails Peter. I felt like, but that was forced. That was really forced just to have that blackmail set up. Like, why do you have to take his clothes off again?
To be fair, that's one thing I'm going to give respect for Tom with the Brand New Day. So it was something I was looking into. He refused to get naked for it. They used body doubles and stump doubles.
I'm happy for that, because you know, it's like back to the 4 films. Like, some of it's just tasteless, and you know, you have to come up with these like really specific scenarios for them to do it. And when we do, I know this is stretching forward, but with Brand New Day, God, I hate that title. When I heard that Yelena was in the film and that she was gonna, it's not a spoiler, but it's a bathhouse thing. I thought that, oh god, here we go. Yeah, here we go. But you know, when you get to see it, oh, okay, yeah, that wasn't that bad. I don't get it, but you know what, it fits her character, and it wasn't, you know, tasteless, which I appreciate.
Yeah, for me, that's definitely one of the scenes in Brand New Day, and one of the characters that I'm like, I understand why, MCU and stuff. Definitely one of the ones where I'm like, could have replaced with another character and still got the same information.
But yeah, one thing I will give Far From Home, despite my complaints, is the fact that the film does punish Peter for acting, you know, for his like
decisions.
Like kiddiness.
Yes.
Like for his decisions and kiddiness, like you know, trusting Mysterio, not wanting to be Iron Man, and you know, God, I'm trying to find the right word for it, but irresponsible. I guess, for lack of a better word, his irresponsibility, because a lot of people were finding out his identity.
Yes, it's one
Like-
thing. It's his irresponsibility led to a lot of problems for him in that film.
Yeah, and Mysterio was fun, but it's like he was a stalker. He was connected to Tony Stark, and I felt like you didn't really need that. And this is the film where I kind of realized that Peter couldn't really stand on his own in the MCU.
It was one where, again, when it comes to Far From Home, it was the unfortunate film to be right after Endgame.
Yeah.
Okay, it's why I class it in particular as what's the best word to describe it? I would class the Far From Home as it was meant to be the entire epilogue for what the MCU was at that point. If anyone's wondering, I'm one of these people that I saw the writing on the wall after Endgames. I love economics. I didn't study it as a degree or anything. I just studied it in my own time.
He does, yeah.
And I knew right after Endgame there was going to be a massive decrease in popularity, and if the MCU kept popping out as many films as they were at that time, what was like 3 to 4 films per year, it wasn't going to hold up. They would keep losing money and popularity. See, I was a big advocate of, if the MCU wanted to keep people hooked, they released no more than 1, pushing it 2 movies per year.
Right, see, people think if anyone's watching, he actually did say this. I remember this conversation very well. We were on a train back from like a friend's barbecue, and it was like right after Endgame had released, and yeah, I remember this conversation.
Yeah, it's only because it was supply and demand. If they limited how much they were supplying, given the demand at the time, they could have kept the demand up for the MCU right into where they are right now. I don't think the MCU would be in such a rocky place as it is in currently. Because, seeing that we're talking about the MCU, I'm probably not going to watch Doomsday in the cinemas. I'm more looking forward to the one after Doomsday.
Secret
Wars, but that's a different discussion. I'll let Rixart talk about No Way Home, because that's where me and him have a lot of disagreements on.
Yeah. Okay. Before I get that, I also didn't really like how MJ and Peter's relationship first started. Because he likes her now, and that's like the beginning of the film, and I'm like, okay, how? When? I mean, the first movie didn't really cover all that, as she was just mean to him, but then, suddenly he has a crush on her because, she's MJ and he's Peter Parker, and... But yeah, I could get into, like, I have to watch the movie again. I haven't touched that movie in years to really reassess my thoughts, but... Anyway, back to No Way Home. Yeah, at the beginning, when it first came out, you and I both liked it. And then, over time, you kind of reneged on it, and I still like it. It's like one of my favorite movies ever. Purely because of the theater experience.
That's part and part my problem. Saw it at the cinema, 95% love that film. I love seeing all the Spider-Man together. I love the story that it told. I love we got the Uncle Ben moment with Aunt May. I love that Peter refused, like, actually nearly gave in to wanting revenge. That's what I loved about Green Goblin. Like, there's a lot to like in that film. It just has the problem of every rewatch you begin seeing more and more problems within that film.
Right,
and the biggest problem I have with that film is its ending. Not that, they erased Peter Parker. It was more, I was very big in keeping up to date what was going on within the MCU at the time.
Yeah.
And I knew Marvel/Disney was having problems with Sony, and the rumor at the time was the contract was over. That like No Way Home was going to be the last MCU Spider-Man film.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were like worried about that. I remember especially like wondering how they were gonna resolve it. Like, is the MCU really gonna let a plotline go in the air? Really? Are they not gonna continue it?
And as someone who knows Disney, yes, Disney was willing to do that. Disney wanted more money and control over the Spider-Man product. And if they weren't going to get it, they were willing to screw over Sony. Now, I'm not the biggest Sony fan. Like, I think Sony's one of those studios where for every good film they do, they have 5 bad films lined up. Sony, in the last couple years, only because they've given me a few films that I've been wanting for years. 28 years later. I have a little bit more respect for Sony with some of its movie stuff. But after seeing No Way Home, it was quite clear to me, okay, Sony's now just going to make the Spider-Man films to keep the rights. Because it was generally a Disney tried to screw over Sony, blew up in their face, and I know it took them a few years just to get Spider-Man back in the MCU.
Yeah.
And again, it was totally a Disney fault. If Disney would just, willing to share, they could have still made loads of money. But at the time, Disney wasn't willing to share. They kind of needed Spider-Man after a lot of the movies were not financially doing as well as they wanted to, and critically wasn't landing with the audiences.
It was also just a turbulent time.
Yeah.
As well. Well, like with the lockdown, COVID, a bunch of other real world stuff.
Well, to make people
that really
feel
impacted...
old again, that's only 6 years ago. That's all only 6 years ago.
I know. Oh, God, the amount of... it's just like life goes by when you're not looking. Life goes really fast, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's all like the behind-the-scenes stuff. For you can hear me, right?
Yeah, there should be no problems on this end. You're coming through.
Is anything else getting picked up?
We get a bit of the background noise, but that's to be expected. Me and you have completely... You still live with your full family, where I'm kind of just thrown into... this is your place technically now, but I don't know, but your name's not on the lease. Kind of.
Yeah. Well, if there's any background chatter, I apologize for that, but it is what it is. But yeah, No Way Home. There was like a lot of speculation going into the film. Like a lot of people were saying, "Oh no, it's a multiverse saga," stuff like that. And then when the first trailer dropped and you saw Doc Ock's tentacle arm and Alfred Molina coming out from the smoke, that was my most I was really hyped for this film.
Yeah.
And when it was over, I was proud to be a Spider-Man fan. Because it felt like you said, it is nostalgia bait, it is fan service, it is all stuff. But dude, it felt like my childhood. It's like I was waiting for this movie my entire life.
See, I won't lie. I enjoy, like I said, 95% of that film, when I first saw it, loved it. I loved seeing the old villains. Hell, this will make some people hate me or some people really love me. I enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man films. 2's a mess. 2's on par with Spider-Man 3 for me. But I won't lie.
I enjoy it because those movies were made with a lot of heart, and though I think the second one has a lot of missteps, I still feel like the powers that be put a lot of love into it.
Yes,
I do. I sincerely do.
it's unfortunate because they wanted to do so much in that film, and they had to cut so much, and there was still so much they needed to cut in that film to make a good product, and there was stuff they needed in that film for it to make complete sense. But that was Sony at the time for you, and
like contracts and stuff. But yeah, like that is one of the few films that makes me feel like a little kid again, and I really love it. And it's like the last theater experience where I actually have fun, because originally it was me, my sister, and my brother, and we were meant to go see it with my cousin. But my cousin got COVID, so she couldn't come. So, there was like a discussion of, should we still go see it? And then we decided to go see it, and I have no regrets. No regrets. No regrets, because we went to go see the movie twice. First on opening day, and then another with my cousin when she got better. And the theater and the audience was like too different, because the first one was like filled with like fans our age and stuff like that who grew up with it, and we all got into it and stuff like that. And then the second time we went to go see the movie, it was like really little kids.
yeah,
Like really little kids. So it was like a different experience, and I'm so glad I didn't miss it the first night.
It's one of those things, because I saw it once at the cinema, and then I rewatched it outside of the cinema.
Yeah.
And yeah, it falls into the same camp. It's one of those films. It's great in the cinema. At home, it's definitely one of those films that's, for at least me, I can't rewatch. It has its problems. I do not feel the same with Brand New Day. I want to rewatch Brand New Day again. I've only
that movie has tons of like shots and stuff where you're expected that the audience is gonna like react wildly.
Yeah.
Like I was noting the shots there, and none of the people in my theater went nuts. Only one scene, but we'll get to that. But yeah, No Way Home with the story. This story was like course correcting MCU Spider-Man to me. It was like a last hurrah for John Watts as director, and he pulled out all the stops. He did. Like he got Spider-Man. He finally got to drop the words "great power, great responsibility." It also put Peter on a path to where he is now in Brand New Day, and he's really good in Brand New Day. He's the best Spider-Man he's ever been.
It's where I feel Tom Holland is the definitive Spider-Man / Peter Parker.
Yeah, and No Way Home tackled the journey. It's like Peter's trying to have it both ways. Like he's trying to be like Peter Parker, like the kid, and he's also trying to be Spider-Man. But it's like those two can't really
coexist. It's the curse of Spider-Man.
He's trying to have it both ways, but he can't.
It's why I would compare Brand New Day. It's a mix between Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, the originals.
Yeah, exactly. And also harking back to my problems in Far From Home and how Peter's irresponsibility kind of screwed him in the end. In this film, trying to rectify that mistake, trying to jump to the big, him overlooking these small things and just jumping to a big thing. Oh, I gotta mind wipe the world instead of doing the normal thing and just trying to appeal the college thing. It's like him overcorrecting.
And
that screws him in the end.
Yeah, this is where now we'll try not go into too much spoilery. We both like Brand New Day. I'm one of these people that think the first half of the film is much better than the second half of the film. It's not.
I agree.
Not to say there isn't anything good in the second half, but it first off, and now I know me and Rixart might disagree on what the first half of the film is. I think from the beginning until the first stop of Peter's transformation with his spider powers, all that, great. Love
Right.
it. Bit.
Well, I consider like the first half of the film and where it kind of goes off the rails. For me personally, is the beginning to a certain character reveal. Once I hear it is, but like it's only been out a week, and you know whoever's watching,
Yeah.
I just don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. But specifically that character, that kind of makes me not really readily say, oh, this is the best Spider-Man movie, because I feel like that character shouldn't have been in this film.
Would this be the main villain of the
Yes.
film?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something where I know there's been a lot of debate online. A channel for people to watch. The Real Fake Wizard. Great channel. Highly recommend. I completely understand why people feel this way. I'm just glad they kept her an actual villain throughout this entire film. It's going to be a problem in the MCU later on.
Yeah. So, but you know, it's like, you know, there's a in Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a scene of Rocket telling Drax, all because you suffer. I'm sorry, my brother wants me to watch The Rookie for some reason.
It's a great show.
Apparently Nolan's wearing a Guardians of the Galaxy shirt or something.
Well, he's owned by Disney.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, in Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a scene of Rocket telling Drax, who practically called in Ronan to like ransack the planet so he can have revenge, is that all because you've suffered doesn't mean you need to drag everyone else down with you. And I feel like that perfectly encapsulates the main villain for this film.
Yeah.
I feel like there are no consequences whatsoever, and I feel like she gets off just a little easy.
Yeah, it's
Like I get it, it's sad and all that, but you know, there's a line. There has to be a line.
there is a line. This is the problem that MCU morally grey characters. Like, a good example is people will call Frank evil, so they'll call the Punisher evil. Frank's not
Yeah.
evil. Frank is very black and white. He's an angel of pretty much vengeance and death.
Yep.
His form of justice is permanent. Man, he gets killified in part in this film, but that's to be expected. With the main villain in
Yep.
Brand New Day, and this is kind of why I like her being the villain. Because I was hearing the rumors. So if people haven't seen the films but they've heard the rumors or they know the spoilers, don't understand that it was meant to be a switch up on who the actual bad guy was
Yeah.
in this film. I'm glad they didn't go that way. I like the reveal of why she was doing what she was doing,
Yeah.
but I was there like so long as they keep her as the villain. And to be fair, she does a lot of damage. At least one person died as far as we know.
Yeah, that guy's dead. It's not like a big character, but it's like, and that's kind of my problem with it, because I know the character, and it's just these things that they do that makes it really hard. There should have been some sort of retribution
Yeah.
for her, like personal responsibility. Yeah. Hey, what? This is gonna go off on a tangent, but recently I got back into watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yep.
and there's a character called Faith in the show. And without the show's over 30 years old now, so I don't think it matters what I say. But originally she was like on the side of the heroes, and then for one way or another she fell within her own personal demons and kind of became evil for a bit. Purely her own decision. And she like went on this rampage and stuff like that, got in a coma, came back out, and then she did even more irrehensible stuff. But it's because, and she hated herself, and that's why she was doing it. She was like trying to commit to being evil and stuff like that. And then in Angel, the spin-off of Buffy, is when she like grapples with the fact that, oh, I am a bad person, and I need to stop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then Buffy came in the show, and there are other characters saying, nope, she is too far gone, she is evil, she needs to be put down. And, stuff of, and then Angel was like, oh no, like, she needs a chance to atone, stuff like that. Like, he's playing because of his own past and stuff, so he's projecting onto her. And then, personally, at the end of the episode, she decides, hey, you know what? I need to pay for what I've done. So she willingly goes to jail. Now, I know the character comes back, but, that one decision, to me, kind of saves her character. Like, if she's gonna go on, like, this redemption story, I like the fact that she's taking, like, ownership to her action and holding herself accountable and going away. I felt like that was the best place the character could be.
Yeah.
And I feel like something like that should have happened in the movie.
Yeah, this is where, like I said, this would divulge into one of the things we want to talk about, and that is the big changes in media. Unfortunately, within the MCU, this has definitely became a problem with morally grey, particularly morally grey woman characters.
Yeah, I was actually discussing this with like a friend of mine, by how like the MCU women characters tend to do evil stuff first before it gets kind of like hand waved away.
Yeah, and it is a problem. Like, again, I'm not going to go directly into spoilers, but her actions, this particular character, you can understand in the context of a world where mutants start popping up, why they'll be terrified of mutants.
No.
Like, this isn't one of those things where it's like, oh, it's all just a misunderstanding. It's like, no, the audience understands why she's doing this, but in the context of the world, you've just made all the mutants look like terrorists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, without giving too much away.
Yeah, and that's not giving much away. That's like,
if when we do get that movie, I hope this is brought up.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope that this is brought up, because to me that will be like an offset to the damage that was left in this film.
Yeah, because again, MCU, do better. Okay, we know you can do good women's characters from Iron Man to Endgame. You did okay. Captain Marvel, bit hand strong on the message in there, but
like there are female characters in the MCU that I really enjoy. Even the ones that I complained about, like a Wanda, like Valkyrie and stuff like that. Those are still good characters.
You see, it's Wanda that I think the MCU did a lot of damage to. And I cannot forgive the MCU what they did to Wanda. Wanda was great from essentially Age of Ultron to Endgame.
You want to hear something? I feel like she was ruined since the very beginning.
Really?
Like, no, I still like the character and stuff, but with the way the winds changed, like with like the way like the things the MCU could do and stuff like that, I felt like she was a
casualty.
Yeah, she was a casualty, because it's like she's not a mutant anymore. Quicksilver was dead. She doesn't have a lineage. They were really hesitant to do the Scarlet Witch stuff at first. So, then after Endgame, when, the winds changed, her character, I think, suffered the most.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, she's a villain. She's an outright villain after Endgame. Like they
I would say she was a villain in Age of Ultron. Like, but okay, like my feelings for Brand New Day can perfectly be subscribed to how I felt about Wanda in that movie.
okay.
Because she did a lot of damage. Like, a lot of damage. And then at the end, it was like, oh no, join the team. Even though you brainwashed our friend to go ballistic on innocent civilians
and now
caused him to leave.
Peer on us, and we're man down.
That was Wanda's fault. I love Wanda, but that was her fault.
Civil War as well. If we're gonna be real picky, Wanda causes a lot of problems in the MCU.
Yeah, Civil War I give like. I mean, it was a heightened situation, and she did the best she could. But in Age of Ultron, she was actively malicious.
Yes.
Actively malicious, and I feel like that hurt the character.
Again, as someone who comes from so the last 3 generations of my family comes from military service. Field medic, Navy, rifleman in the army. You expect, like, worst case scenario, being a soldier in any capacity is civilian casualties. Something just messes up to the point that a lot of civilians die, and it's something that could have been prevented or couldn't have been prevented. It's just one of those sad, and that's where Civil War comes in. Wanda was inexperienced, she was in the field, she tried to stop something, caused more harm than good in the good. But Wanda, from Civil War to Endgame, she had a nice character growth. She becomes one of those female characters that we wanted a movie for, or some form of solo story. And by the time we got it, the MCU was completely involved in... They couldn't write female characters like they did at the beginning, and that's the product of a change in culture within entertainment for the last... since when Iron Man started.
Okay, I feel like, no, they just can't really write women with fantastical origins and powers. Because Black Widow is fairly grounded in how she's written. And, you know, how she bounces off like other characters. But, you know, when you get to characters like Wanda or Carol and stuff, the powers kind of take precedence over the character, I'm noticing.
Yes, but they also then become, like with the main villain of Brand New Day, their actions, although understandable, becomes like, are we the baddies here kind of moment.
Yeah, it feels like if you don't know the comic book history and stuff, you would completely think that, oh no, they're just villains and just move on. But, you know, it's like, because we know that they're heroes in the comics, it makes it a little bit harder to digest stuff like that. And also, this is just like another tangent that could spiral into a whole conversation.
Yeah.
I know she's not Magneto's daughter.
At least currently. Because let's face it, after Secret Wars, they're gonna get rid of the multiverse stuff again, and...
Yeah, sure, but you know, it's like she's Sokovian, like which is in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Max, like maybe Romani.
She's Eastern European. We know she's Eastern European.
And she joined Hydra.
To be fair, if coming from Eastern European, what's the difference between Hydra and communism? Just one simple thing on their ideology.
Still though, Hydra. But you know, that's like a whole other stuff like that. But yeah, you know, it's like Wanda had a lot going against her. Pietro wasn't there.
Yeah.
And she didn't get like the screen time to really flesh out her character. And I like WandaVision. I like it, but that's like a whole other topic now, and let's just focus on Spider-Man now. Ah, jeez, Brand New Day. Yeah, Punisher was alright in the film.
Yeah, no, going back to what we were originally talking, because we can go into tangents here, to finish up the Spider-Man conversation.
Yeah.
What makes Brand New Day, in my opinion, probably not exactly the same as Homecoming, that is still the MCU's best Spider-Man film. It's probably its second best Spider-Man film, because it actually gives me what I wanted, especially in the first half. Just your neighborhood Spider-Man. How hard is it to give a neighborhood Spider-Man local villains, local issues, and that's what I want from a Spider-Man film. It's unfortunate that it took it took 8 films to get a truly here's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know.
Like, even with Homecoming being very close to your neighborhood Spider-Man.
But, you know, it's like...
It took 8 films, guys. Let's not forget it. It took 8 films, and we only got half of that in one film.
And, you know, he was, like, still very connected to the Avengers. Which was, like, a plot line in Homecoming. Like, him thinking, like, he's more ready than he actually is. And trying to be, like, a world-saving hero instead of a neighborhood one. And then the next few films kind of forgot about that. But in this film, stakes were fairly low. They were more personal, and we got to see him be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah. What is great. And again, I do have some criticisms of the film. One of them, and this might surprise people, I feel like they brought Ned and MJ back way too soon.
I honestly did think that they weren't gonna be in this film, like, years ago.
Yeah. Well, if things went bust like they were meant to, they weren't going to be in this film. It was going to be just a Sony Spider-Man film. And don't get me wrong, I love the cast, the trio in this. I do have fatigue of the actress of MJ. She's in nearly everything.
She was in like 3 films last month.
Yeah, and she's got, what, 2, 3 more films this year? And I'm seeing one of those films, Doom Part 3.
Yeah.
3, and again, this is not to say anything against the person. This is more how Hollywood builds around actors still. And it's a shame that they typecast Tom Holland from Spider-Man. It's his curse of getting the Spider-Man role is he's now been typecast. And it is just unfortunate for the actor. The actor of Ned, I want to see him in more stuff. I know he does more stuff, but I am not as 3-time obeisance as I was when I was younger to watch everything coming out. How I can argue that I now just watch. It takes a lot for me just to watch a new product. Docs at the end of the day. But yeah, I didn't think Ned and MJ was needed in this film. I understand why. It birthed a new meme. Your girlfriend, girls can forget you completely, have no recollection. You meet a bro, just do a handshake, and remembers you instantly.
I was so happy that. But again, not spoilers. But hooray for bro.
Yeah.
For the bromance. Cause you know, like you know, bros. Before. You know.
Yeah, bros before hoes. We can say it here. I don't have my girlfriend here, so I can say that now.
Yeah. I have a lot of bros, not one. You know, proud of it.
But yeah, again, they did a lot of things right in this. The relationship of Spider-Man with the city of New York. How Spider-Man would actually react to the type of villain he was getting. Because at the end of the day, she's very selfish. All
Yeah.
she cares about is her problems and not the problems of the people around her. So especially seeing that she's meant to be a hero, and it's just one of those things with MCUs with
Yeah.
they can't really walk the thin line of morally grey. What is a shame, because it's to do a morally grey character, they have to do actions that the average person will go, okay, that's a bit evil, a bit villainous, but it's too but it's for a just cause, but they try to limit their damage. So Punisher's a good example. Punisher won't just kill a kid to get at a target.
He won't.
Yeah. But when he gets hand on his target, that guy's dead. That guy is 100% dead. And that's what made the Spider-Man and Punisher relationship so great, because Peter's there like, Frank, I don't want you in my city. You just caused a lot of bloodshed. I do not want that in New York.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like they actually know each other. It's been a while since we've had the characters know each other. And I'm hoping going forward that the MCU will keep Punisher and Spider-Man together in some capacity. Because outside of Iron Man, I think Punisher's been the best.
But yeah, he's a good person to bounce off of. Even if I do feel like it's stretching credulity, he's just able to just be in New York and no one would care.
Yeah, to be fair, at least and this is the biggest problem with the MCU film. They don't really connect to what I like to call their shows. Now, I'm going to give full disclaimer. I've only watched Netflix Daredevil. I haven't watched Born Again. That's all Rixart.
Yeah, great show. Great show. Punisher should have been season 2, just saying.
Yeah, because I know he was in season 1.
Yeah. And he had a special which didn't really do anything new, if I have to. Like, action was good and stuff, but it just didn't really do anything new with the character.
What? I've got to watch the special. I've heard good things. It's good to generally hear good things. But it's one of those things. But yeah, if you're on the fence about seeing Brand New Day, it's worth your money. It's not something where
Most definitely,
I will say, don't go see it. Wait until streaming or DVD.
I like everything in this film. Even my problems with it, it's really more beyond this film.
Yeah,
I should say. Like, it's not like a problem in the film. And my problems with the film are kind of minor and stuff. Go see it.
yeah.
Daniel Denton is a genius. Everything he touches turns to gold. And I hear that he's directing a Naruto live action. And given what I've seen in this film and previous stuff, I'm gonna go see it.
So long as he does live action One Piece, not live action Last Airbender, I will be happy.
At least the action's gonna be good.
To be fair, I just want to see the reaction of Dragon Ball fans getting another live action Dragon Ball.
Oh, he could probably do it. Like, he's the guy. He's the GOAT. He's one of my favorite directors working today.
Well, it's good to hear, as someone who, because if people are wondering, I am jaded with Hollywood. I am definitely more. I'm loving seeing YouTubers get in the space of making films that are hitting the mainstream, because I'm very jaded with modern Western entertainment. And this will be a segue for us talking about the Avatar movie.
Oh wait, before we do, just to touch up on some recent MCU stuff. Wonder Man Season 2 being cancelled infuriates me. Blade never getting to see the light of day is a piss-poor decision by Marvel. I hate them for that, even if I don't know the character that well.
Oh, we've got to sit down and watch Blade 1 and 2 then. We're watching the original Blade.
I watched the first one last Halloween. Need to watch the other two films while I want to watch it with family. But I can totally do the film with you. Samara Weaving playing Emma Frost and the new...
Yep.
Like the X-Men are getting casted this week.
I heard about the Emma Frost casting. I am happy with that. Bring back beautiful people playing superhero characters for both men and women here, Hollywood.
What are you even smoking, man? It's mostly in comics, I would say that, but
Yeah.
Live action, they always go for the hot option. Kind of feels like a smokescreen, because we also got a lot of bad news this week, but whatever. I don't know most of these actors, but they look alright.
But I know the most controversial because I'm happy Marvel cancelled Blade. Everything I was hearing from the Blade movie. So I would like to see more Blade, but
I just feel bad for Mahershala Ali. Like, it's like he was really excited to do the movie, and then it's like a bunch of like he's never gonna get it, and I feel bad for him.
This is where again, this is a Disney problem. And I want people to note when I say this, the biggest hurdle for the MCU right now is it a Disney production or is it another studio / director's production? Because I think that's the biggest issue now facing the MCU is who's actually...
Well, group projects are always difficult, even with studios.
Yeah, Disney from being dominant these last 2 decades is a studio that I would like to see it get its comeuppance.
Me too. As I'm not gonna say like the unspoken thing because I don't want it to turn into a whole thing. But yeah, kind of pity that only those 2 projects are not going forward.
Yeah, I know they recast Black Panther. What?
Oh yeah, he did. Also, yeah, we got a new Ghost Rider.
Yep. What? Oh, who was it again? I heard about
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean it's been in the talks for years, mostly just fan stuff, but yeah, I'm down for it.
It's good that we're getting some Ghost Rider. I'm here looking. Again, if you want to see MCU, although I don't think it's technically considered MCU anymore, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Their Ghost Rider. Mwah! They had no right to be that good.
Yeah, I never seen the show, but from what I have seen of him, he was very good.
Good was brilliant.
But yeah, the new Black Panther, apparently he's playing like the son at the end of Wakanda Forever. Let's see how that goes.
Yes, what again, generally now this is where I know me and Rixart has some disagreements within the MCU, so we won't touch on films, we're just going to touch on the character and the passing of the actor and everything like this. I can respect not wanting to recast Black Panther.
I'm of the same opinion. Yes.
But it's unfortunate that it's also one of the key characters they had. In my personal opinion, at that time, that was gonna be it. There was Black Panther, it was Spider-Man, and there was another character after Endgame.
Captain Marvel. I feel like those were gonna be the new big 3. I heard a lot of chatter about that's where it was all going.
See, Captain Marvel was never gonna. Captain Marvel, unfortunately, and this is probably a writing problem. The actress didn't do herself any favors. Captain Marvel was always going to be an uphill battle. till trying to get the fans over with Captain Marvel. But Spider-Man Black Panther was printing money. It had great actors,
Good directors.
yeah, I do have my problems with the Black Panther film, not the character Black Panther, but the first film. I have my problems with it because he's one of those characters. It's kind of like Thor. Thor struggled in his own films, but he was great in like any other film, Marvel film he was in. Black Panther for me, his introduction in Civil War, his role in Infinity War, love it. It's one of those things where, as someone who is a Black Panther fan, my first exposure to Black Panther, the character, was the animated movie they did in the 2000s.
Alright, yeah, I think we're talking about the same. It's like the Ultimate Avengers animated film, but the sequel.
No. There was a solo Black Panther film before that.
Like the webisodes?
I think it might have been the episodes, but Black Panther was always one of those characters I loved. He popped up in all the cartoons I loved. He was a great character, and I thought they cast a brilliant one. I thought they did a great introduction, but he suffers the same syndrome that I give Thor. Thor's great when he's in the Avengers movie, or he's in one of the where he's in films with other heroes, and outside of the first Thor movie, what I think is underrated, Thor never really got a great film like Cap or Iron Man, and even Hulk to an extent.
I would say it's because, like, it goes back to what I said, like the MCU, especially at the beginning, didn't really know how to handle fantastical concepts. I would also say this was a problem with the Defenders saga with Netflix. Iron Fist was a very mystical hero, but they didn't know how to do that because they wanted the universe to be grounded at that point. So that character suffered. But with Thor in his own movie where it was all mystical, they struggled with the concepts and stuff. But when he's bouncing off other characters, they nailed it. Because they didn't have to notice about like that world and all that stuff. Because he was in an otherwise normal setting that was familiar to the writers.
No,
I could be talking on my butt on this one, but that's just my observation.
I can agree with you to some extent. I've got to rewatch the MCU. It's been,
but yeah, in one of these streams, if we get 10,000 subscribers, we're gonna do like a full retrospective of the Infinity Saga.
Oh yeah, no. This is where, when it comes to certain film, me and Rixart are going to be in different countries at the time because it would turn into World War V.
Oh yeah, like we were just talking about Black Panther. I remember when we first talked about it in uni, I felt like we were going to come to blows.
Yeah, it's pure, and Rixart knows me. I love the character Black Panther.
He does, and he knows me, but I will say this. I did feel in retrospect they probably should have recasted. Like I respect, like I love Chadwick Boseman. He gave a very memorable performance, and I get why at the time it was kind of difficult for anyone to imagine anyone being someone else, and I get it. And I excuse it and stuff. It's just imagine if Wakanda Forever was not made. Like, I enjoy the film, I love the film, I do, but just imagine it was not made and they were to make it today. I would have been, enough time has passed, I felt like a recast would be more comfortable, which they are doing.
Yes.
I enjoy Wakanda Forever, I do, but I am okay with the recast.
And this is where, again, real life stuff affecting entertainment, it's unavoidable. It's just one of those things where it's such a crucial character like Black Panther.
Especially played by an actor who was just... you know, like he was good. Like that was like his career was like really taking off.
Yeah, and again, if I'm correct, it was I know it was cancer that took him in the end. Well, it was prostate cancer, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is where Rixart doesn't have to worry. He's younger than me by no. I will be going for those checkups in the next coming years, and I think my first one should be next year because I have now entered that age where you need to be concerned. So, guys, I know we all hate doctors. We all hate being a burden and medical stuff. Do not all take it lightly.
You got
It's
okay, but
it's the one that
take
takes
care
us
of yourselves.
Out. It takes out a lot of us. It doesn't get enough funding like other cancers. So please, it's better to be safe than sorry than.
In general, please take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to talk about the Avatar movie before we wrap up?
Yeah, well, because we're wrapping up now here. I'm finishing off this last shot I need to do. But we're going to move on to the Last Airbender because I grew up. So, bit of backstory. Because me and Rixart, we're roughly the same age with about a 4-year gap at this point.
But we grew up with a lot of the same shows. We have a lot of the same tastes,
yes.
I would say.
Last Airbender for me is a defining TV show. Like, it is one of those shows that my girlfriend never watched, and I watched the entire show with her about 2 years ago now. She loved it. It's one of those shows where it has aged extremely well. Watching it as a kid versus watching it as an adult is a completely different experience. It is just remarkable how good that is as a show. I remember when the finale came out. I watched it live. I recorded it. I went to a friend's house, watched it again, came home, and I watched it again. It was just superb. It
was
just superb.
It was. I watched it like when it was airing when I was a kid, and then like 2014 or something, I decided to binge the show again. And I gotta say, it was like one of the best binges I ever. It was one of like the best binges I ever did. Yeah. Like it was like that was over like 12 years ago now, and I still remember like rewatching all the old episodes, catching up. Because I had because when it was airing, I had like a disconnected thing. I watched most of the episodes, but it was always like when it was airing. I wasn't like seeking it. It was like whenever it was on.
Yep.
So I got the gist of the story, but when I binged it in 2014, that was like from beginning to end. And that was like the easiest binge I ever watched. It takes a lot for me to like binge a show. Not so much with Avatar.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Hold on, guys. I'll be back in a sec. Just have to check something.
Right. So yeah, I was like 5 years old when Avatar first came out. It was like 2005 to 2008. So when it ended, I was like 8 years old and stuff. And but yeah, I grew up with Nickelodeon, so it's like when I was watching Avatar, I was watching it with Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was approaching my teens at the time. It's one of those few things that, again, highly recommend. And it's a shame with The Last Airbender, something that's so beloved, that it just seems to be a battered housewife of a franchise. It's franchise, and I don't say that lightly.
No.
Because for it taking over 20 years for it to get a movie,
Yeah.
is a crime. It's generally a crime, in my opinion.
It's generally one of those franchises that realistic could have gone on for a while.
Yes.
It had such a good sandbox to get into it, and they only recently started doing it, which is crazy to me.
Yes, and I know this is a debate within the fandom itself. Now, I'll go into the most controversial part of the fandom, and that is Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
When it was just a mini-series, and it had Season 1, when it first came out, I enjoyed the mini-series Season 1 of Korra. Was it perfect? No. But it still felt like Avatar at the time. In hindsight, Season 1 has a lot of problems. But for what it was, the Season 1 by itself, it wasn't offensive. It was continuing what was being set up. And it looked like the franchise was going to go in a good direction. That is until it gets to Season 2 and it just has the entire problem of them not liking their own history. Like, this is the problem that Last Airbender, in my opinion, as a franchise has had, is it had lightning in a bottle, but it feels like either the creators or the people working on it just not like its history. And to me, that's baffling.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because, well, like you said, like we both agree, Avatar was lightning in a bottle. Came out at a good time. It had everyone working on it was on their A game, and people love it, and they still like remember it to this day. You know, after that, they just didn't have any luck.
Yeah, it
just wasn't the same as before. Whether you like the new shows or not, and like one of the head writers for Avatar created the Dragon Friends, and
yeah.
At the beginning I did like the show. I always felt like it was a little underwhelming compared to Avatar, and then, you know, of course the hiatus happened, and then I felt the show was more worse off than it was when it began.
Well, I completely agree with you, because I still have not finished the final season of that show.
Exactly, it's like it just didn't have the grip.
And now, there are multiple reasons why I think there has been problems with the Avatar franchise. The biggest problem I have seen why particularly post Last Airbender there has been problems. I think it stems from the cultural change that happened from the mid to late 2000s entering the 2010s. Now again, I will be completely upfront with people. I think it's good in all forms of walk of life to have people that come from all type of perspectives, both from a theological, from a political, from a cultural. It's always good to have met and talked to people from multiple different walks of life. And the problem with modern entertainment, especially from America and even here in Britain, is that's not really the case anymore. It seems to always be from one perspective or one point of view, and this has really affected a lot of things. And I think Korra's a really good example of this. Like, Korra, if it was still just a mini-series, it would have its problems, like I said. But because they made a whole show from it, Korra suffered. It was a female-led project, and let's not forget, some of the best characters in The Last Airbenders are women. I'm just going to list off the top three, okay? Toph, Katara, and Azula. all great characters in their own right. I do not think they would be written the same if it was done today. Yeah, and to me, that is a crime because they're all great characters. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and they all, in my personal opinion, have what is lacking in modern entertainment. What is the diversity of femininity? You've got the tomboy in Toph, who's also disabled. Well, yeah. You've got Katara, who is traditionally feminine. Like, this is one thing that I think a lot of people cannot deny. Katara is traditional feminine in the context of writing. And then you have Azula, who
is just Looney Tunes that crap insane.
Yeah, it's she's also one of those what I would class, due to her own character and characterization, she has that form of toxic femininity. The same way these forms of toxic masculinity, these forms of toxic femininity, not in what modern cadence call those things. I'm talking back when I was a child or before what the...
She was manipulative. She was
Yeah, there was a lot about the character, and it all came together, and it's great. Like, Sokka as a character has a lot of character development. Like, when we first meet Sokka, he's a misogynist, like complete misogynist.
Yeah, he wasn't a warrior. Honestly, yeah, he grew a lot in first 5 episodes than most characters do
in their entire season, let alone a show.
But yeah, like everything you said, we are seeing Avatar being written today. It's the live action one, which I still have not seen.
And I will never watch. If anyone wants us to watch that, I'm sorry, that's going to cost a lot of money for us to watch.
No shade to those working on it, it's just not needed in my...
It goes to the showrunners and the writers. As someone who's a wrestling fan, you have to look on how something is structured, and you always blame the people at the top. So currently in wrestling, especially if you're a WWE fan, we're in that low period of wrestling where it's not as good as it was a couple years ago. When it was at its peak. And the main culprit to this is the current heads of the company, and a lot of people call this Paul Levesque, or better known as Triple H. But in all fairness, this comes from the people above him, because unlike his predecessor Vince McMahon, who ran the entire company, he has to answer to a board of people. And if anyone knows how bad a committee is running anything, they're terrible at running shows and movies. Committees are the death knell of any form of entertainment. And when something like Korra or the live action Avatar comes about, always blame the showrunners, blame the showrunners and the writers, blame the people at the top. Never blame the people at the bottom. Like, I don't blame any of the actors for taking the roles. I blame the people running the show for casting actors. I don't blame any of the actors for the work they do on the show. I blame the directions they are being given. But yeah, this is why I was happy with the Last Airbender film we recently got. Is it perfect? Hell no. No, it's nowhere near perfect. Is it better than anything we've gotten from that universe in a long time? Yes. Yes, it does.
I think like just maybe like a lot of people are saying this film would have been a lot better if it was released like 2010. Like, this was the movie we should have gotten instead of Last Airbender.
Yes, this is like the movie we should have had in place of M. Night Shyamalan's.
Yes. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's movie. Imagine this movie taking that slot.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would have been more fondly remembered.
Yes. I think it would have also done better than Korra. If it came out the same time as Korra did, this film would be were made a lot more better. But unfortunately, it's coming out in a time where it is, unfortunately, caught in what seems to either be a studio curator issue or a studio not knowing what it has.
I would say for the latter, like the studio, like Paramount just does not know what to do with this franchise.
Well, it's a shame because Paramount, in my personal opinion, has been one of the better studios over the last.
It has a lot of good shows in its library. I would say that's mostly the creators doing than anything else.
Yes, and Paramount is usually quite good with managing that, like any studio should be.
Because people may forget it, but Avatar had a lot of mandates when it was airing.
Yes.
Like, since it was an action adventure show, the action could not be so violent.
Yeah.
So, like, really look back at the footage. They punch a lot, but no one gets punched.
Yeah. I think it's
a martial art. It's a martial arts show, but you know, it's like it's always bending in it, and there's very rarely like blood and bruises and stuff like that, except for a few exceptions.
And this is something that I think because, let's face it, a lot of young creators don't understand a lot of how difficult it was to make certain things back in the day. Because you had mandates. You couldn't do what you... A lot of shows will now just get, like, permission to do X, Y, or Z. But back in the day, especially for kids shows, they were things you just couldn't do.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, it's what makes it especially fun when you watch it as an adult and see how they cheat the censors.
Yeah.
Like Rugrats was another Nickelodeon show, was filled with adult jokes that completely flew over my head as a boy.
Oh yeah, no, this is something fun when you... How even Powerpuff Girls see.
Oh my god! Yeah, I just remember I just watched like a compilation like a few years ago, and I still remember one of the jokes.
Yeah, again, we did not know how good we had it. As
we grew up in a golden age of television, I would say that.
Yeah, because I come from the late 90s, early 2000s, and at that time, because the internet was only just beginning, the UK was still behind releases of American shows. So it wasn't until the mid-2000s that shows in America and the UK were being synced with release. And yeah, growing up at that time, I feel sorry for the entertainment kids have on at least mainstream products. I know it's more YouTube, TikTok.
Well, it's like, I'd say it's a problem with just society these days. Everything has to be expedient.
Yeah.
Like, they just want to cut right to the chase, and that goes from everything to architecture to TV shows to food.
It also doesn't help that we are living in that essentially, and I'm saying this as someone who has grown up in this era. It doesn't help that with at least in media, there are just certain archetypes you cannot do anymore. They are just certain things that I don't think you could do soccer today from the Last Airbender. I don't think you can have a teenager who hardly had any contact with the outside world being a misogynist and learning his lesson on that, and it being a good message today. I don't think they can do that today. What is a shame, because there's a lot of good storytellings you could do. But that's the again, this is and if there's any Americans here, this isn't thrown at you. This generally stems from the problem of the culture war, and as someone who is still a nerd and a geek, it's a lot of things that I grew up liking have all died because of this culture war BS. Star Wars, Star Trek, to an extent, Avatar: The Last Airbender. The MCU has been suffering for a bit as well with post the Infinity Saga. And it is a shame that this has kind of infected. If you're a gamer, you know how bad gaming has been for just over a decade now. It's a shame, and this is one of the things that I am loving seeing from online creators. And that is just near enough doing it yourself.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll do you one better before we get back to the movie. I don't think Zuko could have been written today.
Nope. I've actually have to go in the next few minutes. I've just checked the time.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, I don't think Zuko could have been written today, but that's a whole other discussion. The movie itself was good. I think it was a great film.
Yeah.
Wish I got to see it in theaters.
Yeah, no. If that movie came out in theaters, I would have went to seen it twice. Would have went once with my girlfriend. Would have went once with Rixart and another friend. I would have tried and got a friend to watch Last Airbender for the first time to take him to see the movie. It is.
Yeah, I'm down for like binging the entire show with the guy. Like whenever we have time. But yeah, and also the movie is another reason why Dave Bautista is one of the best actors working today.
Oh yeah, you know Dave Bautista as an actor. I know Dave Bautista as a wrestler. We are not the same.
Yeah, who would have thought that Drax would have some range?
To be fair, great voice. He should do more voice acting work. He's definitely better in the voice acting department.
He does have the voice. Like I'm always like entranced whenever he talks.
Yeah. But on that note, we will all see you next time. What I'm hoping we might do a Sunday stream. If not, if my schedule holds up and Rixart's one holds up, it will probably be either Wednesday or Friday next week that we'll have another stream.
Either or.
Either or. But thanks for joining us. I know this is a bit of an abrupt ending. I've just seen the time and I have a few things I need to go take care of. Thank you for joining us on this production talking about media as a whole.
Yeah, me as well. Next time we'll do a better job at promoting this. We had some trouble at the beginning, but for all the people who are watching this as it ends, thank you for watching.
Yep, and we will see you all next time, and hopefully in a more reasonable time slot. So, thank you again. We look forward to any comments after the stream. This has been us working on the Dædscúa production, talking about just entertainment as a whole. From OneManBluMan and Rixart, we hope to see you next time. Adios.
All right. Stay hydrated.